Hello, I'm Karen, and can we believe it? We're in February already. So today I'm going to be sharing how to make a star coaster and also then increase it into a starry blanket. Okay, so this is to start off with. If you're just doing this bit, it's for scrap yarns. If you get bigger, obviously you're going to need more yarns. And the reasoning behind this pattern is mugs. So this is a standard mug, and this huge mug there is what my daughter got for Christmas. And so this is measures 3 inches across there approximately, and this is 4 inches. So we need a bigger coaster for a bigger mug. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so what we're going to do is put that one to one side, and I've just got this lovely, these are just my leftovers. It's double knit yarn, and I'm using my 4mm vintage hook, and we're going to begin with a chain of 4. So that's 1, 2, woo, 2, 3, 4, and slip stitch together. There. And now we're going to work the single crochet if you're in the US, or the double crochet if you're in the UK, and we need to do 8. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then we're going to just slip stitch to the very first stitch to join. Ooh, squeaky yarn. I hope the lighting's all right. This is natural light. This is today's light in the UK. It is miserable, the weather-wise. Next round, so round 2 is going to be chain. So we're going to do chains of 4 and a slip stitch. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then slip stitch into the next stitch along. And you're going to do this all the way around. Okay, so you end up with 8 points. 2, 3, 4. And what I'm going to do is, as it gets bigger, 2, 3, 4, is I'm going to move on to pieces that I've already made, so I can show you just the beginning of each round, so you know the sequence, so you can do it yourself. 2, 3, 4. It's a really nice, easy pattern if you are a beginner, and if you're really experienced crocheter. And the only problem that you get is the bigger you get, if you make a mistake, you've got to undo it. 1, 2, 3, 4, because it will not forgive you. And I will show you, it turns into a wobbly piece if you don't get it right. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One more to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, and slip stitch together. So those first 2 rounds obviously done with one colour. I'm going to cut off my yarn there, and I'm just going to pull the tail end through just to make it easier. There we go. Right, so the next round, I'm going to change colours. So yes, this is white, I know. I've got a white background, please don't complain, but I need you to see the colour against the colour. Okay, so this round, just latch on to anywhere. It does not matter which one you choose to start off with, so just put your yarn through, and you're going to do the same thing again, which is to chain 4 and then slip stitch into the next one, and do that all the way around. Yep. And so this is the bit where I'm going to actually start changing over pieces, so you know that this is going to end up looking potentially like a flower. So I'm just going to just undo that to get that out of my way and show you one that I got to where I've got to the end of the round. And this one I've slip stitched into the same space that I began the very first where I latched on in the beginning. So that was round 1, that's round 2, so this is round 3. And so round 3, we're going to go back to using the single crochet stitch again, or double crochet, depending where you're from. So it's going to go 1, 2, and now you're going to do a chain of 3. So it's 1, 2, 3, and then 2 more single crochets or double crochets, and it makes your little points, and you're going to just keep doing that all the way around. And for those of you that have watched my older videos, which makes me feel ancient, you will recognize this pattern. as being part of my meteor pattern. I did a pattern, yeah, a long time ago. And the reason why that I've gone back to this meteor pattern is because of my story that I've been writing. And I was thinking about, you know, the ancient, oops, that stitch hasn't gone right, has it? You know, the ancient monolith stones that they did? They was massive, like really, really huge, really tall. And I know that they line up with the sun and the moon and the stars and all of those kind of things. But why did they need them to be so big, was my question. And so I was thinking about my characters in my story and how those stones actually would come in handy for this one. Is just, I'm sorry, you can see I'm getting really, this is really tangled, so I'm going to give up on this bit and move to the next piece, which I've already completed. So we end up, it looks like that, and move on to the next round, just so it's easy for you to see. That colour's not wanting to work. Let's use this one instead. Right, so for this next round, I should carry on with my story in a minute. So for this next round, we're just going to latch on. It doesn't matter which point you go to, just to do the same thing. Just pull your yarn through, and you're going to do a chain of 2, and then you're going to work the treble crochet stitch if you're in the UK, which is a double crochet if you're in the US. So once I've done 1, I'm going to do 2. So we're turning into the granny stitch pattern now, but we're going to do a chain of 3 because this is going to be our point or our corners, and do 3 again in there like that. And then for each of the rest of the points, if we can get this ball of yarn to be working nicely, we're going to work 3 treble crochet or 3 double crochet, a chain of 3, and 3 more stitches, and just keep doing that all the way around. So yeah, so I was thinking about the height of these stones and why they had them so big, and I was thinking about how deep the snow and the ice used to be historically. And so I thought, well, how, you know, if somebody saw a meteor land way back then, and they didn't know what a meteor was, because obviously, well, they probably did, but they might not have had the same name for it, who knows. But to see a shooting star land on the ground in front of you, I was thinking that would be an amazing thing. Okay, and I thought, well, then if the height of the stones represented the depth of the snow or the ice that they had to dig through to get to it, because if it landed on snow or ice, it would melt down, and I know I personally would be digging in that snow to find that stone. So yeah, so that's a theory that I've got for why the stones were so big. I'm going to move on to the next round. So you're doing these all the way around so that your piece ends up looking like that. Yeah, so that size there is, I would say, is just the right size. It's only just for, and if I put that over the top, look, you see it's just the right size for the normal size mug, but obviously we want to have it a bit bigger. So I'm going to use the white this time. I'm going for the white. And so for this one, you latch on into one of your corners like we have been doing for the other rounds, but this round is slightly different. And this is where I was saying, if you go wrong, you're going to end up with a wobbly piece of work and not a flat piece. So we're going to do 3 in the corner like we have done for the other ones. Do our 3 this side. 1, 2, 3. And then in the middle bit there, we're just going to work 1 of the same stitch, and then we're going to move on to the corners, and in the corners it's going to have the 3, a chain 3, and the 3. Yeah, so you're going to do that all the way around. Now this is where I'm saying, as it gets bigger, and you know what it's like when you're crocheting, your mind just wanders off. It can be thinking about anything and nothing, and you've just been automatically crocheting. So, oh, looks like I've got hair there. And so you can quite easily, because you're doing the granny stitch, end up accidentally putting a granny stitch, like all the 3 stitches in that middle piece there, if you do that, if you make a mistake there, that's where you're going to have to go back and undo it, because your piece will start to go wobbly. So I'm just going to do this next little bit here. I hope you can see everything all right. And like I said, it's absolutely miserable. It's been raining for days and days in England. Everywhere's all soggy and miserable. And tomorrow, potentially, which is Sunday, there, look, so we're going to keep doing that all the way around. I'm going to put that to one side. So once it's completed, it'll look like that. So now I'm going to move on to that colour is just not wanting to pull out of there. I can't use my pink. So I'm going to use, let's go back to this green. Oh my days, I've made a bit of a mess of this, haven't I? Well, that's what happens. It's just life. Right, so I'm going to change over to this shade of green just so you can see the difference. And so each round obviously begins the same every time. So it's a chain of 2, yeah, 2 treble crochet to finish that, to make it be a set. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I forgot to tell you, when you finish each of those rounds, you slip stitch into that first stitch there. So it's just nice and neat. We're not doing anything hard. I've made a promise to myself this year. Everything I do is going to be easy. Everything, just easy, easy, easy. There's nothing hard, nothing difficult. I just want to have an easy year. Right, so now you see we've got the one there. We're going to just do one either side of it. So 1 stitch there, 1 stitch in that gap there, and then into the corner. And that's where we're going to then go and do the granny stitch. And we've got, remember, we've got chains of 3 in the corner. I did experiment with this pattern. I've got loads of errors. You should see how many things that I've made where like, oh, that didn't turn out right, and neither did that. But it was pretty enough for me to keep it so that I can use it for something else. But it was not flat. I wanted a flat piece, because obviously I'm going to be putting, if it's a coaster, we're putting things on it. I want it to be able to sit flat. So into these ones, so remember, one either side of there, and then your normal bits in the corners. Yeah, so you're going to do that all the way around and say slip stitch into the first double crochet that you actually make at the beginning of the round. So that's that one. And then, so that was supposed to be in pink, that edge, this edge was there, it was, but my pink won't pull out of there, so so this one with the 2 in it is that round completed. And now hopefully, she says, wherever the beginning of this one's gone, I tried to prepare, thinking about the steps that I was going to be making, and still managed to make a mess. Right, so for this round here, this is the round where we're actually going to do just granny stitches all the way around. So you're going to do your chain your 2, oh, that was squeaky, and do 2 of the treble or the double depending where you're from, chain 3, and then work your treble or your double. I want 3 of those there. And so, and then what you're going to do is you're going to do, so in this gap here, so we're working either side. We're always going to work each side of these posts as we go along. Yeah, so we're going to do 3 this time round. So it's just like the normal granny pattern. So there, and then 3 in that one, like that. And then do the 3 in the corner with the chain 3 and another 3. And we're just going, and so that's it. So that is the basics of the pattern. And once I've finished this little bit here, because I just don't like to finish in the middle of a corner, that's just one of my things that ever since I crocheted, it's like, don't finish in like halfway or in the middle of a corner. It's just a weird place to stop your work. I'm just going to go, whoops, go into this next one there and just do my 3 there. Okay. So because I've done it in the colours, I've done it so to try and so that you can see. So after you've got to this point here, you can see we've got one post there, then it goes up to 2, and then we're doing the 3. So you've got to do that sequence. So after you've completed this round here, you're going to go back to doing one post in the middle of there. Yeah, so if I get my bigger blanket that I've been working on, because I had to experiment. I haven't sewed the tail ends in, so please excuse tail ends. But this one is 20, it's got 24 different changes of colours, but technically 26 rounds because that was 2 rounds and there's 2 rounds there. But if you have a look, I hope you really can see. So we've got a 1 post, a 2 post, and then the group of 3. A 1 post, a 2 post, a group of 3. Yeah, 1, 2, and so you just keep doing that. And so obviously the bigger it gets, from each corner, each point is going to get bigger. And that's where you can be wandering along there because you're doing so many stitches and then forget to do the correct stitch in the middle. So you've got to keep track on that to be able to keep it flat. And that's the only downside that I can see of this pattern. Other than that, I'm planning on just keep on crocheting this because I want to see how big I can go. So that's my challenge this year, is see how big I can get this 8-pointed star to actually grow to. And if I go back to this one here, so that is your one. So this one is actually, because we're going to get counting colours, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 colours, which technically that's 2 rounds and that's 2 rounds. So there is actually a total of 8 rounds there. But that is the sort of size I was thinking for a big coaster. Okay, so there you go. That's your crochet star and your crochet starry blanket. And that's me over and done with them for February. Wow, cannot believe it. All right, so thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. And I've got a challenge for you all this year. If you do watch my video, send me some kind of message, you know, whether you like it, whether you don't like it, whether you think it's easy, what colours you prefer. Just kind of make a nice comment on my video, please, and I'm going to try to reply to every single video to every single comment all the way throughout the year. I know I usually do anyway, reply to all my comments, but I just thought, you know what, can we just have a little chat a bit more? So talk to you later.